Good. Yep.
Wow.
Oh, get down, Fette.
Oh, wow.
Yes, sir.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yes. Touchdown.
That gets the charity.
Oh, what a ball.
Oh, what a ball.
Oh! And again.
Dime.
Good ball.
Dime. Yes, sir.
Good stuff, yeah. And our 2025 Vices Pro Day champion with a score of 49, Matt Ponatoski.
Good.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to Home Squad Sports Special Edition here, wrapping up Elite 11 finals, Elite 11 season. Bittersweet here because it's been a long time of scouting there. We've been at 2 Elite 11s there and scouting pretty much everyone that's been at all Elite 11s. So we're going to get you covered and what's been going on pretty much first 2 days, as the first 2 days was pretty crazy. I know there's been a lot of different lists out there of top performers, which we'll get into. We pretty much have all of them. Want to give a shout out here just because if you haven't known Elite 11, it's been around forever. I want to give a shout out to everyone that does a great job there with Coach Stump, Coach George Whitfield, Devin Gardner, and shout out Joe as well because they're blessed to really be a part of the whole situation and scout process. Shout out to Terry Walker, our guy at Elite 11 right now, balling out, and we'll get an update as well. But shout out to if you haven't really seen Elite 11, you've probably seen it on ESPN. So this actually used to be an ESPN show. This is a 2011 class. You can see Jameis Winston sort of in the middle there. Great class. This was a great show. And this is really what got me into Elite 11. I was probably like 14, something like that. But this was a really good class. Chad Kelly in there as well, all the way to the right. Tanner Mangum, Zeke Pike, Austin Appleby as well. But a lot of good guys have been balling out, man. But we're going to go ahead and get into this list and get into our commitment list. We went ahead and added all the commitments from this year's list. Straight up ballers, everyone knows. And we'll get you really updated. Now, we got guys committing really soon. We got Oscar Rios going to be committing soon. Matt Ponatoski probably pretty soon. And then Landon Duckworth as well. So he's down in his final 2. I think South Carolina is going to be in the front running for Landon Duckworth, but let's go ahead and get into it. You can see we're going in just our order here. Bryson Beaver, uncommitted. We'll see where he goes too. Everybody's thinking Oregon. So let's go ahead and get into it. You can just take a look at the list, and we got some more videos as well. So just to really start it out, a couple of big guys I'm really just want to get you hip on is Dereon Coleman going to Miami next year. He's trained by Braylon Trio there down in Florida, training to William Jackson, one of our guys as well. Landon Duckworth, like I said, Jake Fette's going to Arizona State, Will Griffin going to Florida. Keisean Henderson, pretty much everyone knows about Keisean Henderson, but if you don't, if you've been sleeping under a rock, man, absolute ball spinner. Was playing safety as well, playing wide receiver in the past. Going to be an absolute ball spinner. Let's get some faces to the names as well. So let's go ahead and get into it. We got to see about, I don't know how many of these we got to see in person. I'd say we saw about 6 or 7 of these guys in person throughout the process, but Briggs Cherry going to Louisville, he's an absolute guy. Got to see him in person throw. He's a dog. Faizon Brandon, really good player going to Tennessee. Man. All these guys, I would say last year's quarterback class really deep and this year's quarterback class just as deep. And then next year, so I'd say we got 3 solid classes, just being able to cover it, and it's been a blessing. So Oscar Rios, like I said, we're going to go ahead and mention him in a second, but this is alphabetical order. We do have Bentley here. Really going to see what he goes, man. I don't know. We're going to see. But let's go ahead and get into some other guys. I mean, ball spinners left and right. We have videos from highlights, but we just really want to get a face to the name. We don't really have a group picture yet, but like I said, Landon Duckworth is uncommitted. South Carolina is my pick for him. Jake Fette, Arizona State, like I said, Keisean Henderson, Will Griffin, Trey Huhn, Matt Ponatoski out of Cincinnati. Matt Ponatoski, you just saw him earlier in the video. He won the accuracy challenge yesterday. He's out of Moeller in Cincinnati. We're going to see him throw next month. Against Bryson Brown, our guy, new NIU commit. We'll talk to him later on in the season as well. But Matt Ponatoski, like I said, I think Kentucky is just all in on him. He's a baseball player, if you don't know. Maybe going to get drafted out of high school this draft. We'll see. But he's going to be playing both sports wherever he goes. It's going to be a quarterback and a shortstop. So not a lot of guys doing that out there. And, he won the accuracy challenge as well. So, he means business on both fields. So I think Kentucky's all in for him, man. I think Kentucky's a really good fit for him. Just to kind of elevate that program. Kentucky's had struggles. Will Levis, as of recent, is one of the guys that got in the league. But outside of him, not too strong on the quarterbacks, in years past. So I think Matt Ponatoski could be a great fit. So let's get into the last few here. Jett Thomalla, if you've been following, recruiting, we got to see him in person throw at Elite 11 as well. He was committed to Iowa State at that point, and me and my co-host Dalton was like, man, Iowa State's getting an absolute guy. But a couple days ago, he just flipped his commitment to Alabama, if you saw that on our list. So absolutely crazy. He's going to Bama. Can't blame him there. He said, watch the interview there. 247's been doing a great job. They're going to probably have a recap show. We just wanted to give you a recap first 2 days, and head on over to 247 Sports. They'll get you covered on the third day. But our guy, Terry Walker, you've seen him if you've been on our show. He's been on our show before. He's going to be going to Duke. Man, he's been spinning as well. We have a couple videos. And then Jonas Williams. So these first three, we've actually got to see all these guys in person. USC commit Jonas Williams. He's going to go in there and looking right at home in Cali, because that's where the finals are being held. So to round out the list here, Derek Zammit going to Washington, another guy. So want to talk about Jett Thomalla, though. So let's go ahead and get into it, folks. Jett Thomalla has been an absolute baller throughout this process. He's now committed to Alabama. So shout out to him. And, man, Alabama we'll see how that fits out, but Jett Thomalla is going to go in there and give him a run for his money. But I want to talk about Oscar Rios. Mentioned him earlier. He's one of the highly touted guys that's uncommitted. Absolute guy. When we committed, scouted about 400 quarterbacks. This guy was amazing. He was on our uncommitted list, no brainer. And he's out of Cali. He's really trying to put on, if you really seen his interviews, he's trying to put on, for his people, for, Hispanic community. And that's just awesome, because you don't see a lot of guys out there and, representing. So he's down to his final two, UCLA and Arizona. So really good interviewer. I watched all the interviews of these guys, and here's his visit to Arizona. He's going to be making his decision here pretty soon. Looks good in Arizona, man. I'm not going to lie. Looks good in Arizona. Looks good in the UCLA as well. I'm not going to lie. So a lot of those West Coast guys, they stay West Coast, and guess what? I don't blame you. If you don't have to play in the cold, don't play in the cold, right? So we'll see where he goes. We'll keep you updated on our trail. But let's go ahead and get into some other guys. Keisean Henderson, like I said, is a guy you got to keep a watch out for. He's going to be going to Houston, trained by DC. Big guy there, select quarterbacks. If you know DC, man, he's the guy. Daryl Colbert, training everybody from up and down, from Shadur Sanders, Cam Ward, Keisean Henderson. I think Antoine Hill as well. I think he was training him as well. So a lot of good guys out there, man. And we'll go ahead and get into another guys that he's familiar with. He's on the scene there running drills, and love to see that as well, because, he knows his stuff, former quarterback himself. So let's get into it. Terry Walker is our guy, man. Look at Terry Walker out there looking sharp. Got a quick video of Terry out there doing his thing. But we want to get into it. Like I said, accuracy challenge yesterday. Matt Ponatoski out of Cincinnati. Like I said, watch 400 quarterbacks. I will say, Midwest is up with the best of them. All right, had to get a drink of water. But like I said, Matt Ponatoski, shortstop quarterback, accuracy challenge. Man, every time we go and scout, Texas obviously got dogs, California dogs, Arizona's got dogs, but man, it really doesn't get like it like Ohio and Indiana. Football, high school football is so deep in Ohio. We go up there. We're not even in Ohio or Indiana, but we travel up there to cover high school games. We like to cover camps as well. And some of the best talent in the nation comes from Ohio and comes from Indiana. Matt Ponatoski, Terry Walker's. They're really putting that on display. But Texas as well, obviously. Texas, just absolute ballers. But we got guys from everywhere, and that's the best thing about it. Elite 11, man. It's the best quarterback. It's the premier quarterback camp in the nation. Everyone knows that. They've been doing this for so long, and that's why we're so glad we get to cover at least a couple of regionals we've been to this year. Looking to get out to more next year because we've really got to get some eye on all these talents and guys that even didn't make the list. Like I said, it's about 50 to 60 quarterbacks, I'd say, at least, that in each camp. So you can't really give invites to them all, but all of them pretty much got D1 offers, and they go FCS D1, and FCS is pretty much FBS now, so everyone knows that. We'll get into that later because I want to talk about Sac State. But Matt Ponatoski, shout out to him. And this is the let me see I think this is the on 3 list. So this is the day 1 top performers. So this is on 3's MVP was Dia Bell. Now Rajah Bell, if you're familiar with NBA, this is Rajah Bell's son. Phoenix Sun, Charlotte Bobcats. But he was a Phoenix Sun. Was balling against Lakers, balling against Kobe, man. Back in the day. So his son's out there just calling the shots, being a good ball spinner. Yeah, big guy, athletic. Terry Walker, though, was at number 2, according to On 3 there, our guy. You see him pictured as well. Then Faizon Brandon, Matt Ponatoski again, Oscar Rios again. Familiar names, like I said. Bryson Beaver, he might be flipping Oregon from Boise State. He did decommit from Boise State. So really big surprise there. One of the hottest quarterbacks on the market. That's not committed. So Dereon Coleman, we'll get into them. We got a video of him as well. One of the quickest releases you'll see in the whole nation, really of all levels of football. One of the quickest releases you'll ever see out of a guy is Dereon Coleman. So I want to give a shout out to him. He's not the biggest guy, but doesn't need the biggest guy because he has a pretty big arm. So Jake Fette, want to get into him as well. Arizona State, really consistent quarterback. I don't think he gets a lot of credit that he deserves. But, just from out the nation. But Elite 11 showed him a lot of love, and deservingly so. But guy that you might be, familiar with, Helaman Casuga, might have murdered his name, but he's a ball spinner, man. He's going to be going to Texas A&M. Him and Keisean Henderson is going to be representing the state of Texas there. I mean, all these Texas, look at Texas, what? 1, 2, 3, state of Texas here. And then Landon Duckworth, obviously, is uncommitted. He's leaning towards, I think it was Ole Miss or South Carolina, but I think it's going to be South Carolina, honestly, if you really want my honest opinion. I think Lenore Sellers is going to have a really big year, probably go to the league, and he might be raising up the Heisman Trophy if his O-lineman can get some blocking. As a former O-line, I would say I've watched a lot of tape of Lenore Sellers, and if he gets some help blocking this year, it's going to be a big year for South Carolina. So another list. Want to get into another list. This is CBS Sports, I believe. So they had Dia Bell as well. From day 1, top 10. So shout out to him. Like I said, baller. Landon Duckworth, Keisean Henderson. So it's a little bit different. They had Keisean Henderson on 3. They had him, number 10 on the last list. So a lot of change here. That's why I kind of wanted to bring this up because there's a lot of change because these 3 outlets are pretty much on site watching the same thing. We all go to the same camps. Your order might be different, right, by a little bit, but some guys are just not even on the list, so that means 13 spots different on some of them. A lot of sliding here, a lot of differentiating on who you ask, I guess. So I wish we were down there to really get another eyes on the prize. But Terry Walker was 5th on their list. Faizon Brandon, Oscar Rios still in it. Travis Burgess, who wasn't on the last list, so he's going to be playing for Bill Belichick down Chapel Hill. Will Griffin was on the list, Dereon Coleman, and then Troy Huhn was not on the last list. So they put him in here at top 10. He's going to be going to Penn State. I like him as well. I think he's an underrated guy. So that's why we're just bringing this up, man. A lot of different opinions. That's why we love it. That's why we do it. And then the Elite 11 as well, having their own opinions. So they put out their own rankings. They're the one who calls the shots. Consensus here. One thing that didn't change is Dia Bell, number 1. But Keisean Henderson there, I think he's deservingly top 5, top 3, no matter who you ask. Landon Duckworth, shout out to him as well. We got a video of him hitting the goalpost here in a minute. Dot thrower. He didn't hit the bottom goalpost. He hit the top goalpost too. So that's more impressive to me for some reason. I don't know. But Faizon Brandon, Derek Zammit, Bowe Bentley. If you're not familiar with Bowe Bentley, absolute baller, a high riser in the rankings. Shout out to 247 really getting that out there and getting his name out there because deservingly so. His film speaks for itself. You can go on our tape and look at our list because he was on our uncommitted list. He's still uncommitted and his tape's there as well. Beast. beast. Jonas Williams, USC, like I said, guy, he's going to be competing with Hussein Longstreet there from last year. I'm really excited to see that quarterback battle. So one thing that we're going to know about USC is they're going to have good quarterbacks play in the next few years, no matter who they have throw out there, because they got guys on the roster. Jett Thomalla, like I said, I'm going to be going to Bama. That's crazy that he's going to Bama. Shout out to him. Man, it's just Iowa State's a good school. And people just say it's different. The facilities change so much in SEC. They upgrade. And it's just hard to keep up with them, I guess. I haven't seen their facilities, but I assume it's crazy, seeing the late flip from him and, going in, and I really respect it. So big get for him. Bryson Beaver, like I said, absolute dog, and then Travis Burgess. So I wanted to bring this up because we had Terry Walker number 2 on one of these lists, number 5, and then he doesn't make this list, unfortunately, which, I just wish we got to see all the film because our guy, I don't know, man. It's hard. It's just hard to narrow it down. You got the 20 of the top best quarterbacks, and it's almost impossible to get it down to 11. And that's the best thing. You're going to have different opinions from everybody. And at the end of the day, they usually don't miss with their finals. So I have faith as well that our guy Terry might climb in there. So day 2 rankings, that's better than day 1 rankings. We'll see how it goes. So Keisean Henderson moves up to number 1 over Bell, according to Elite 11. So, man, absolute spinning. Keisean Henderson's going to be, I would say, a day 1 starter. I would throw him out there day 1. Why wouldn't you? I would throw him out day 1 just to go out there and get the reps and get the wins and really show other recruits that, hey, they got a guy. He's got tape. We just don't have practice tape on this guy. Attract other transfers and other recruits as well. A lot of these players, because back when I played, you're recruiting other players. It's crazy. You're doing a lot of recruiting job for them. These guys are recruiting other players like crazy. I bet a bunch of these guys are going for the same few. I know our guy Brett Colajay has been mentioned in one of the interviews, I think by Jonas, trying to get him at USC, one of the best offensive linemen in the nation from IMG. So absolute beast, man. All these guys. So we're looking at the list. They're wrapping up day 3. Obviously, 24/7 Sports probably going to have a recap here pretty soon. But these are the first 2 days we wanted to get you caught up, just so because they're going to be pretty much covering day 3 and everything. Because it's 7-on-7 today. They're actually going against some live competition, which is great. Like I said, this used to be a show on ESPN, and I can't believe it's not like a show on Netflix, Hulu, whatever. Somebody needs to pick it up. I think somebody will pick it up, I think, in the next couple of years, because if you watch Hard Knocks, if you watch any of the other stuff like that, I think some of the Netflix series, the one with Spencer Rattler, I don't know what it was called, All American or something like that. But if you watch those, even if you go back to the old two-a-days with Hoover, I mean, that all access to see what's going on at these camps and stuff like that. It's the best TV. I mean, but I don't know any good TV out there besides some football stuff that maybe I'm biased. But man, Netflix needs to go ahead and throw them a bag and get Elite 11, on some cable or something, because can't see, can't miss, and a lot of things we don't get to see, because if you go back on YouTube, you can kind of watch the old shows, a lot of good whiteboard stuff, and they're getting a lot of good coaching, and even at the camps, I've always said, Coach Devin Gardner is one of them, former Michigan quarterback that runs a lot of the drills, and he does a heck of a job of getting actual good coaching in by the short time that they're there, and that's what I love about him. So let's go ahead and get into some film. Like we said, I wanted to get into Dereon Coleman. This is the guy going to Miami, and look at this release. I'm gonna have to replay this video a couple times just because of how quick this dude's release is. I mean, I don't know if I've seen a quicker release, that's like accurate. This guy zips it, man. I don't care how tall you are. There's a lot of guys his size in the league, and there's a reason, because they can throw it well, and I don't think they have a quicker release than this. So walking in day 1 there in Miami, gosh, it's what a release, man. I love watching his tape. Like I said, he's trained by Balin Trio, a great quarterback trainer. He's got a long list of guys he trains that make it to the next level, and Elite 11, like I said, has got a long list of guys make it to the next level as well. I got some stats for you. So 28 of the 32 current starters went through Elite 11. 89 of the 103 quarterbacks in the NFL have went through Elite 11. So, I mean, come on. It just speaks for itself. It's kind of like the Senior Bowl. It's just stats are there, it's just proofs in the pudding. Ballers go here, even no matter what you're rated. We've seen number 1 guys in the nation come here just to prove it and just to get some good competition and have fun too, man. It's all about having fun. These guys have fun out there. So they're all, especially with the new NIL and stuff, they're all, getting earnings, and not too many people are, taking food off so many plates because there's so much programs out there, and they're walking in. They're a quarterback. They're the most important position, so they're like pretty much the guy wherever they're going. So, I mean, it's great, but they are still competing. Let's not get that twisted, but they are still having fun out there, and that's what it's all about. Want to get into that video of Landon Duckworth, him hitting the goalpost. I mean, what a dot this dude throw. Yeah, the audio, I don't know if the audio's playing, but it was pretty funny. Yeah. I don't know if he didn't see it, so he's trying to tell him. He's like, no, I didn't see the throw. It don't count. But no, he got that out. The vertical post, I don't see too many though. You see the cross one, not too many of the verticals. So pretty cool. But man, we'll see what day 3 has in store for us. Be on the updates, people. Don't have too much more for you. We just wanted to get through the first couple of days and show you what's been going on, because I've been chomping at the bit to talk about it. We won't be able to go live tonight because we'll see. We'll already have results out probably tonight. So wanted to get live and see how everyone's been doing, and hope everyone's been doing well. And we'll have our show next week. Elite 11, like I said, does a heck of a job. And the premier quarterback camp in the nation. We've been so grateful to cover it this year and plan to cover it next year. Last year we got to see it. We got to see Tavian St. Clair, guys like that. Who is at Ohio State now, Hussein Longstreet, guys like that. Crazy quarterback class. Tramel Jones, like I said, at Florida last year. These next 3 quarterback classes, if you count last year's, it's one of the most exciting. If you follow recruiting, if you don't follow recruiting, you need to, because they're pros now. I mean, these guys are pros. So it's proof in the pudding here. All these guys are putting their talents on display, and from seeing it firsthand, I mean, some of these arms, it's crazy how the quarterback position's evolved, and throwing motions, and just how talented these guys are. All they need is some good coaching, and Elite 11 provides that as well. That's why I love them so much. And like I said, we need to get this on Netflix, man. Elite 11 needs to be, just on a bigger stage. You shouldn't be able to miss it this time of year, because this is one of the best times of the year, because everybody's going to go to camp as well. All the high school guys going to camp here pretty soon. Then the season starts, so don't get too much camp footage, as well as pretty much coming down to an end. But like I said, we do have 7-on-7 coming next month. We're going to see Matt Ponatoski next month go against our guy Bryson Brown. So our guy Bryson Brown just committed to Northern Illinois. He was at Elite 11, I think Elite 11 Ohio or Nashville, but shout out to him. He just committed, and he didn't obviously, didn't make it, but he's going to show you, man. Like I said, he's proof that there's just too many good quarterbacks out here. A big frame, 6'5" guy. We have his highlights here, and then we will probably outro it here, but we got Bryson Brown. I will say Elite 11, man, they got pretty much the big list, I would say, right? You can't add everybody on there, but it just goes to show how much talent there is. I think back in the day, it was like no-brainers. Now it just gets so much gray areas. Like, God, we just, it could be Elite 20, it could be Elite whatever, 15, whatever, but it's hard to get it down to 11. That's why I like the number. So won't keep you all day. I hope everyone's had a great week. We'll rebroadcast this as well throughout the week just to get you covered. Really appreciate all the views that's been coming in there on X, on whatever you call it, Twitter, Instagram as well. So Corey Daly did commit there at Pittsburgh last week. We want to give a shout to him. Very proud and happy for him. And we'll see a couple of these other guys commit. So like we said, we have uncommitted guys from this Elite 11 list. We have 4, I believe, still. So all these flips are changing. We don't know what's going to happen. So we got Bowe Bentley, Bryson Beaver committed, uncommitted since he's decommitted from Boise State. Landon Duckworth, like we said, Matt Ponatoski, and then Oscar Rios, who we talked about, who's down to Arizona and UCLA. So it'll be crazy, man. We'll bring up this list right here. So yeah, Jonas Williams there. I'm really excited about just when these guys get on campus. Sucks we have to wait a whole year, but hey, it's all right. It's a good problem to have. They get to put a lot of good film on, get a lot of good tape, and the game gets a whole lot slower that senior year, as everybody knows. So on that note, we will see what happens. 247 is going to have an update. Obviously, keep them locked. They're on scene. Wish we were on scene. Hopefully, we'll be there next year for the finals. But they'll have you full updates. Check their page. They got highlights from today, and we'll post a couple as well. But on that note, hope everyone's having a good one, and we will see you all next week. Peace.